El Salvador, the smallest country in Central America, is notorious for its gang-related murders. But a more mysterious epidemic is creating havoc amongst the country's young male population. In the last 10 years, 20,000 men across Central America have died of a strange, unusual kidney disease. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Healy in El Salvador to meet the people who are working to prevent this silent epidemic. My journey starts here, in the under-equipped and overrun hospitals of El Salvador. Dr. Ricardo Leyva is a nephrologist at Rosales General Hospital. He noticed something strange about the patients walking into his ward.
Since maybe 15 years ago, the patients started coming in very high numbers. So we are trying to figure out what's going on because, as you know, in the world, the main etiology of kidney disease is diabetes and hypertension. But it's not the case here in our country. We have a different disease. We have called a Mesoamerican nephropathy. It's affecting the sugarcane workers mostly.
And they're quite young, these people.
Yes,
young
the
men.
mean age is around 40.
Normally, chronic kidney disease affects men and women with diabetes and high blood pressure who are over the age of 60. In El Salvador, however, the men are young and in peak physical condition due to the demanding work they do in the sugarcane fields. And the disease is hitting El Salvador hard. Every day brings new fatalities, with the epidemic now responsible for more deaths in the country than AIDS, leukemia, and diabetes combined. We met Hernando Hernandez, who had no option but to return to cutting sugarcane after falling ill. Amado, how long have you been working in the sugarcane fields cutting?
Hace 12 años.
And how are you feeling? Are you healthy?
Mal, yo me siento mal, así como me caen grandes dolores, lo que es el riñón. Los pies se me hinchan.
And your family, have your family been affected by this disease?
Sí. Primero mi padre, que de eso murió, ¿verdad? Luego de eso, otro hermano mío, el más mayor, también de eso mismo. Luego el más menor, de 23 años, también de eso ha muerto. Y otro que está hinchado, está bien grave ya.
Does that brother who is ill, is he still working in the fields?
Sí. Trabaja todavía. Cuando se alienta, que se recupera, va a trabajar, pero después vuelve a caer.
So your mother is looking after your brother at the moment, the one who's still ill in bed?
Y sí, ella siempre lo que cuando él cae así, ella está pendiente de él. Sí. Ella ha sufrido bastante sobre la pérdida, primero de mi padre, luego los 2 hijos más, y el que está enfermo, y yo que estoy padeciendo también de esa enfermedad.
In fact, the patients that make it to Dr. Leyva's clinic are the lucky few. Many of the sufferers living in rural communities can't afford to make the expensive journey into the city for hospital treatment. Others are simply diagnosed too late. So it's a very, very busy department for you.
Well, yeah, we need more nephrologists, we need more nurses, we need more surgeons, we need more everything.
So what are you actually doing now?
Well, actually, from the government point of view, very, very little. When the patients come to our hospital, they need dialysis. We don't have anything else to offer them. We cannot reverse what has been done to the kidneys. What's going on there, we don't actually know, but I think we have to do some prevention and early detection.
For almost 2 decades, the cause of this disease remained a mystery. As well as fertilizers, many suspected bacterial infections contracted by rats in the fields, the workers' unhealthy lifestyles, and even their genes. But now, for the first time, there is a growing consensus amongst the medical community that the harsh working conditions, the heat stress and the heavy labour are a major cause of this mysterious kidney disease. Long hours of extremely physically challenging work in temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius and little access to water causes acute kidney damage. Over time, this develops into chronic kidney disease, which is fatal. La Isla Foundation a small research NGO, along with El Angel Sugar Mill, where Armando works, have introduced some basic measures to lighten the load for these sugarcane workers. Domingo, can you tell me what it was like for the workers in terms of what the conditions were like before this project started?
Pues fíjese que ha sido un trabajo bastante difícil, ¿vea? Desde por años. Antes trabajábamos desde las 6 de la mañana hasta las 4 o 5 de la tarde sin tener agua, sin tener sombra, ni descansos para que la gente pudiera ellos agarrarnos y tomar fuerza. Y ya, gracias a Dios, en estos últimos 3 años que llevamos, ya ellos ya tienen agua, tienen sombra y tienen descanso. Ya tienen alimentación a la hora y ellos han visto que ha sido ventaja, ganancia para ellos y se sienten contentos por la participación que ellos están haciendo porque trabajan menos y producen más. En aquellos tiempos no, ellos ganaban, trabajaban y trabajaban, pero el sueldo no era muy competente para salir adelante porque las enfermedades estaban más encima de cada uno de ellos.
In these labour communities, it is estimated that 1 in 4 men have the unusual form of chronic kidney disease. Have you any history of kidney disease in your family?
Prácticamente quizás mi familia son todos los que trabajan conmigo. Yo no veo solo quizás mi familia por sí, sino veo todo mi grupo como familiar, donde hemos visto bastantes casos de que han muerto por la insuficiencia renal, ¿vea? Y pues la gente estaba muriendo por no conocer cuáles han sido los métodos para poder sobrepasarlos y no tener fracaso, ¿va?
I'm noticing you have some water on your back. Can you tell me about that?
El consumo de agua antes era muy poco, donde en los últimos 3 años ya estamos trabajando con lo que es el camelback por cada uno de los trabajadores y consumen más agua y ellos tienen menos posibilidad de enfermedades.
Ah, the whistle. El pito. What is that?
El pito significa para ellos parar un descanso. Ellos descansan 10 minutos de tiempo por cada hora, donde ellos toman agua, aire y afilan su machetillo o algunos desayunan, buscan hacia la sombra de cada uno, ¿ve? Y es para eso que se les hace el pito a ellos.
With a 40% increase in productivity, translating into better wages, the workers are already seeing the benefits of the intervention. But the long-term success of this project depends on the scientific monitoring of the sugarcane cutters to determine whether they are, in fact, combating the rise of chronic kidney disease. So it's just after 4 o'clock in the morning and we're heading into the fields with the research team so they can carry out the tests they need to do. And the reason it's so early is because they need to squeeze those tests in before the workers start their regular day cutting sugarcane in the field. So it's an early start for everybody. Can you tell me exactly what's going on here?
Sure. This is part of a 2-year study. This is a cohort of guys that we're studying at 4 different points. This is study 4 out of the 4. We came in November before they started the harvest, 2 weeks after they started in January, and then this is the last one. And what we're doing is blood, urine, blood pressure, weight, and a qualitative questionnaire to analyze their general health and well-being and to see if the intervention that we've put in place is having a positive effect on their kidney health.
And are you seeing any changes yet, or is it early days?
Early days.
Very early days.
It's early days. We have some preliminary results from last year that indicate that giving people water, rest, and shade breaks during the workday could stabilize their kidney function, but it's a small sample group, and we're expanded this year from 45 to about 300 to see if we can see that effect in a larger group.
So you said that CKD is prevalent amongst sugarcane workers. Well, we know it's here and it's in Nicaragua. Is it seen anywhere else in the world?
Yes, they've had cases of a similar disease that they're not quite sure if it's the same in Sri Lanka and India. The folks who are affected in Sri Lanka and India tend to be rice workers who are working in extreme heat as well. But we just don't know enough about it yet to know if it's the same disease. But what we have found is that it's predominantly affecting very poor, vulnerable populations. And what we've seen is that everywhere we look, we find something that resembles this kind of chronic kidney disease. So it may just been nobody was asking the right questions in the right populations to determine whether or not this is a more widespread disease than previously thought.
The sugarcane industry in Central America is notoriously powerful, with the majority of the wealth held by a small minority. In El Salvador, the industry has survived political coups, several financial crises, and a civil war. Today, they remain one of the most important industries in the country, contributing 20% of the agricultural GDP and generating work for 200,000 people. Juan Wright runs the El Hangel sugar mill. He was the first in his industry to acknowledge the seriousness of the problem and to do something about it.